Bandada is an engineer in the Privacy and Security Operations team at the ETHRome Foundation. So let's start. This is the structure of the presentation. So we will start talking about what is Bandada, some use cases, some functionalities, what are credentials groups, how to interact with Bandada, and how you can use Bandada, a bit about the roadmap, and something related to the hacker guide. So what is Bandada? Bandada is an infrastructure to manage privacy preserving groups. It also provides anti-civil mechanisms by using credential groups so that you can only join a group if you meet a specific criteria. So Bandada is a public good project. It's free and open source, so everyone can use it and contribute to it. So Bandada is a Spanish word that means a group of birds. It's the same as the English word flock. So here is the website. You can go to and visit bandada.eth for more information. So here we have some use cases. You can use Bandada to build platforms for DAOs, a group of people in a private organization, group of wallets holding a specific NFT, group of members with more than, for example, 500 Twitter followers, a group of members who have contributed to a specific GitHub repository and also have more than a specific number of transactions on a specific network. So it's like you can also create a credential with many credentials. And you can go to this discussion to know other ideas that you can use to build on top of Bandada. So this is the Bandada infrastructure. So there is a dashboard app that you can use to create groups and other functionalities. There is a client app, which is like a test app to interact with the infrastructure. There is an API which has endpoints to interact with the infrastructure. There is a database to save all the information. There are some contracts so that you can verify proof for off-chain groups. There are some JavaScript libraries like the API SDK, which you can use which is a wrapper of the API, and you can use it to interact with the infrastructure. There is also the credentials library, which is used to create groups with credentials. It's the one that is being used in the infrastructure to create credential groups. There is a hard hat library, and in this library, the hard hat one is for the contracts to make it easier to deploy the Bandada contracts, and they use this library which has some utility functions. These are some functionalities. You can create groups, update groups, remove groups. You can also use invite codes to join a group, credential groups. And also you can add members, and you can also remove members. So all these functionalities are implemented off-chain, and on-chain there are some functionalities. Right now we will be implementing the invite code and credential for on-chain groups. Right now the Bandada on-chain infrastructure is using the semaphore infrastructure. I will be talking about this later, but yeah, it's using the on-chain semaphore infrastructure. The on-chain, yeah. So this is a bit about the credential groups. There are some providers and some validators. Providers are like GitHub, Twitter, this one called blockchain, and Ethereum station service. There are some validators. For example, followers for GitHub, personal stars, repository comments. For Twitter followers, following user, for blockchain, like the balance of an account, transactions, number of transactions, for Ethereum station service, the data stations. So the credential groups support logical operators like and, or, not, and sort. You can also use parentheses so that you can create a stronger anti-civil mechanism. So here is the link to the credentials package. You can interact with Bandada using the API SDK, and also the dashboard. For off-chain, all of them are implemented. And for on-chain, you can use the dashboard, and I will explain how you can interact more with the on-chain groups now. So As I said before, the on-chain Bandada architecture is using the semaphore on-chain architecture. And semaphore is a zero-knowledge protocol for anonymous interactions. It has identity, which you can use them for Bandada too. It has groups, and it also has zero-knowledge proofs for the anonymity part. And semaphore and Bandada are compatible for off-chain and on-chain groups. You can learn more about semaphore in this website, semaphore.eth. You can start using Bandada with the API SDK, with the packages. You can install them manually, and you can also use the boilerplate. So here is the link to the documentation. More information about the API here. The API is a list of endpoints to interact with the infrastructure. It's compatible with any programming language that supports REST API requests. So you can go to the documentation of the API here. It's api.bandada.psc.dev to consult the API. It's here, is this one. Yeah, you will see this, and you can make the request here. You can try it out and execute it, and you will get the result. So the Bandada API SDK is a wrapper of the API. It's a JavaScript package that provides a list of functions to make it easier to work with the API. You can install the API SDK package like so, and here is the documentation to the API, and also a demo using the API SDK so that it's easier for you to understand everything with the documentation and also with the demo. Here is an example of the API SDK. You can import it like this, then you can create a group this way, then you can, for example, add members using the API key this way, and also you can remove a member using the API key. So this is what it looks like using the API SDK. You can also install the packages manually. For example, maybe you don't want to create an application with off-chain groups or using the API SDK, but you can also import the Bandada credentials package and use the credentials you can see there, and also use this CKKit logical expression package to combine the credentials. You can use different credentials. Maybe they are not part of the Bandada credentials package, but you can also use the logical expression package to combine other credentials, because this package is to make it easier to work with logical expressions, and you can evaluate, tokenize, and evaluate logical expressions, and it also supports parentheses. So here is the boilerplate. The boilerplate is an off-chain application. It's to send feedback anonymously. You can go here, demo.bandada.psc.dev, and take a look. You can fork it, clone it, or use it as a template for your application. This is like the infrastructure of the boilerplate, which is an application using Bandada and Semaphore for the anonymity part. You will see the Bandada architecture is being used to save all the group information, and in your application you will integrate Semaphore. In the front end, you will integrate the identity to create the identities which have private values. You can also use the group package to generate a proof, and also the proof package to generate a proof too, because to generate the proof, you need also to recreate the group. So that's why you need to generate the proof. You need the group and also the proof packages from Semaphore. And you will also use the API SDK of Bandada so that you can interact with the infrastructure. Then you will probably have backend to verify this proof, and then you will use the proof package from Semaphore, and then also the API SDK to interact with Bandada. And then you will probably have your database to save your information. So this is like the infrastructure of an off-chain application, and this is the infrastructure of the boilerplate, the Bandada boilerplate. This is a bit about the roadmap. So we are always working on improving the developer experience, so any feedback is welcome. And we would like to integrate protocols like POAP, SUPAS, and other protocols for the identity or the credentials part. We will work on the concept of universal groups, which are groups that can be compatible with other projects and protocols like Semaphore, Macy, Arlen. So we will be working on that. And also, we will work on on-chain groups so that they have the same functionalities as off-chain groups, like, for example, the credentials part and also invite link. And we would like to build modular architectures to support several data structures and different type of groups, so that you can, right now, in the off-chain part, we are using incremental Merkle tree, but in the on-chain part, we are using linear incremental Merkle tree, which is the same that the new version of Semaphore, version 4, is using. So yeah, we would like to support other data structures, other 4 groups. You can learn more in this discussion. You can learn more about the roadmap. So there is a hacker guide that you can see the main links that you need to build on top of Bandada, like the packages and all these things I was mentioning before. This presentation is also open source, so you can take a look at the slides here. This is the QR code and the link. So thank you so much, and feel free to ask any question.